That is Little Coo. She is a 2020, or I should say she was a 2020 250cc RPS Hawk. RPS stands for Ricky's Power Sports. At the time of this picture, it was taken in Cedar City. I believe, ignore the date, that was a picture that Heather sent me from an archive picture. I believe this was somewhere around August of 2020. In today's episode, I'm going to introduce you to, I guess, the remains of Little Coo, the remnants of Little Coo. I don't really know what we want to call her. It sounds horrible to say that, but she doesn't look like that anymore. So take a good look at that picture. We're going in a hole. Hang on. Okay. That's okay. We're in a hole. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, that was a lot quicker than I thought it was. We are cooking up some bird's eye. Looks pretty good so far. Should be a few minutes before this is really good. We can't go with chains. We gotta just drag her up the hill. We'll worry about chains later. We call this a CTC, which stands for Cargo Trailer Conversion, or Cargo Trailer Camper, or Cargo Trailer Crap, whatever you want to call it. It has all kinds of names. In case you're wondering what 4-week-old poop looks like after it's been chemically treated, and there's your answer. A mom to 17 children, I would have thought you might have had like 30 of those cards.
Oh, this is just for 2 days?
All right. Now I'm kind of shield my eye a little bit. You'll notice there's a tarp on the ground. You'll notice that the back of the Tiny Wanderer is open and the ramp is down and there's nothing attached to it. That's where Little Coo normally rides. Now, don't worry, she didn't get stolen yet. She didn't get stolen. She is here. Before I introduce you to Little Coo, I want you to hear a little story. In September of 2020, I journeyed to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I entered a project that made it so I couldn't be around my vehicle for over a month. Sometimes I do projects like that. Now, in that 30 days that I wasn't there, someone actually cut Little Coo free from the back of the Tiny Wanderer and stole her. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, if Little Coo got stolen, why are you talking about her now? Okay, well, here's the thing. In January, I returned back to Lincoln after spending Christmas in Phoenix, and I recovered Little Coo with the help of the Lincoln Police Department. The story's actually pretty interesting, so I'll go into it. I had been given an anonymous tip of where supposedly Little Coo was, but I had real hard troubles getting a hold of the Lincoln Police Department. So from the time when Little Coo was stolen, which was December 22nd approximately of 2020, to the time I recovered her, which was somewhere around January 8th or 9th of 2021, the thieves, which were allegedly on meth and were very well known in the area for stealing things, they had pretty much destroyed her. When I mean destroyed her, I don't mean that, like, they blew her up or anything. They just did what meth heads do, I guess. And again, I'm not saying I know what meth heads do, but they literally destroyed her. Now, the thieves, when I went to the suspected location in January, I saw a motorcycle under a tarp in the guy's yard. I got out of my vehicle a block away. And I walked by his house 3 times. On the 3rd time I walked by, he came out and he said, "Hey, can I help you?" And I said, "Nope." So in order to not look suspicious, I immediately crossed the street and started talking to a woman who had some dogs that she was walking and said, "Hey, is this a good neighborhood?" And she said, "It's okay. Why?" And I said, "Because, me and my wife are thinking of moving here." Now, obviously that was a white lie, but the guy was standing on his porch watching me like a hawk. After about 20 minutes of talking with her, I proceeded to go back around the side of the street to my vehicle, called the Lincoln Police and said, "I don't want a police report. I don't want to be put on hold. I don't want to go to a voicemail. I don't want to be told I'll be called back. I just want you to send some units now. I found my bike. So about 20 minutes after that, 4 police units showed up. SUVs from Lincoln Police showed up. I told them what was going on. Then they told me to stay on the back street, and they went around to check to see if it was indeed my bike. I was on the phone with Heather at the time, and about 20 minutes later, I got a call from dispatch saying the police want me to come forward. So I drive my SUV up, and the first thing I notice is that they have that specific block blocked off. They've got 2 cars, one on each side of the block blocked. The other 2 cars have their front ends pushed up over the sidewalk, and all of their lights, their takedown lights and high beams and everything, pushed on the house, their spotlights. And there are 2 guys, shirtless, in handcuffs on the porch. So needless to say, I walked up to the officer, and they said, "We found your bike." Gave me a flashlight, went around the corner to look at it. And at first, I'm not going to lie, at first I didn't think it was Little Coo. Not the Little Coo that I remember anyway. And I almost didn't believe that it was Little Coo. I didn't want to believe until I literally saw the weld that Robert, who you have already met, the welder, he welded the kickstand because it fell apart in the parking lot one day at Walmart. I saw it, and then I just started crying. I know, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to hide it. I literally started crying. There were tears in my eyes. The police let me take the bike. I rolled it out behind a nursing home, and they took the suspects into custody. And in Nebraska, by the way, if you commit a crime, you get a ticket. So they were uncuffed, and they were given tickets to appear in court. And I'll get to that later, what happened with them. So if I don't, remind me in the comments. But I went and got the Tiny Wanderer, and then on a cold January night, pushed Little Coo to a church down the street, and then strapped her on. And she's been under that tarp ever since. So with that being said, let's walk over to this amazing campsite, and you'll be seeing this in another video, but right now that's not the focus of it. So if I'm looking down, it's because I don't want to fall or walk into a log or something. This is Little Coo. Now, remember, I told you Little Coo was a red RPS Hawk, 2020 RPS Hawk. She had only 1,500 miles on her when she was stolen. As you can see, the license plate has been grinded off. Her back end was completely spray painted, along with the seat and her identifying logos. All of her plastics are gone. Every one of them are gone except the headlight. You can see that if you look here carefully, you can see the headlight is red. They couldn't take that off because if they did, they wouldn't have a headlight. They painted it with some really crappy paint. They changed out one of her grips with like a crappy bicycle grip. They broke the clutch and the brake handle. They cut the ignition. They drilled out the ignition cylinder. They punctuated the gas tank. They hooked up some kind of hot wire system that they were trying to get rigged up. They bent both her front and back wheel. Those will need to be re-trued. I can't speak to if they injured her engine or not because I have not started her. I've literally just taken her out from underneath the shroud. This is the first time she's been out from underneath the shroud since I put her under there in January. So she spent the winter at Micah's, and then the spring she spent, I think, at Micah's as well. And I've literally just now taken her off of the Tiny Wanderer for the first time, and you guys are the first people to see her, or what's left of her. And you can kind of see where they hot wired it here. They put a wire. They ripped out some electrical here. Her headlight probably works. I'm sure there's no problem with that. They've strapped on her battery. They actually put a bungee cord on there, which is pretty cool because I didn't have that on there. I've already gone and cleaned her off. She used to have Little Coo written right here. And as you can see, they've completely removed any identification of her. Cylinder stripped out, as I told you already. I just checked her battery, and if we look here carefully at her battery, I don't remember if she was 6 or 12 volts, but if she was 6 volts, she still has enough battery power to start once I figure out which ignition wires to connect again. Again, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. It's unlikely I will be able to unless I get all this hot wire stuff out of here. So I'm going to strip her seat off. Oh, look, you can still see part of her plastic. That was part of her fender connector there. Yeah, it's gone. So, yep, see there you see it says Hawk. And there's the weld I told you about that Robert made for the kickstand. It's still holding strong. So this is just a video to introduce you guys to Little Coo, and there'll be later videos of her reconstruction. Before I go, I want to tell you guys about the two thieves. So, true story about those guys. They actually stole another vehicle right after they stole Little Coo and got a ticket. It was a truck. Then they ended up stealing a very expensive car. And in Nebraska, the way it works when you steal something is your penalty is based on how much the vehicle is worth. Since Little Coo was worth $1,500, it was a misdemeanor. The BMW, on the other hand, you guessed it, the BMW was worth like $80,000. So they are now, one of them is in jail and the other one is they're still looking for him because he did not show up for an arraignment, so now he has a warrant for his arrest. Needless to say, this saga continues. They called me about 2 weeks ago asking me if I would lower restitution. I'm trying to receive restitution in the amount of $2,000 damage for this motorcycle, and I don't think I'll ever see it. I'm going to try to repair Little Coo myself. I know me and Heather had some great travels with her, some great adventures, which you guys have even watched some of those adventures when she was in better spirits. She's part of the family, and I talked to Maine about getting a new license plate, and they're willing to give me a whole new license plate, and so we can start fresh from there. But I've got to get her running and stable again, and then some parts for her, and who knows, she might return to her former glory where she can ride really cool roads and trails just like this. But I just want to thank you guys for coming along. I'm going to leave you with this view of these pretty flowers. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. And if you have a motorcycle or a dirt bike or anything, and you've had something like this happen to you, or you have some suggestions or comments, feel free to comment below, or give a like if you feel like the video is something that you can relate to. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time, hopefully on Little Coo racing through these beautiful woods of Utah on the Tiny Wonderland. See you next time.